What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on the future of the MCU. So in today's video, we're going to talk about Avengers Doomsday again, because the Russos keep yapping and they keep revealing details, and they keep yapping. And in an interview with Omelette, they recently revealed something which coincides with the only real industry insider who doesn't hide behind a paywall or makes you pay for scoops, and realistically just is like, yo, I heard this, might be true, might not be true. And also he got the most information right about Loki season 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, pretty much only ones with a really solid record in terms of track record. So yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? What's you here with a video on the future of Marvel. So if you're new around here, what the freaking are you doing? I've been covering this stuff for years. So subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know down below, how freaking excited are you? Now they've basically revealed there's a massive connection between Iron Man's death and Doctor Doom. I think either this is a PR move, or they're trying to see how the general public, or I guess you could say the pop culture fans, react to it. It could still be misdirection. Who knows? Also, if you want to see the beautiful face behind the voice, check us out on Instagram, and also check us out on Twitter. Warstu. Right, let's get straight into this bit. So, the website omelette.com has essentially made a post, and they've come out with this, and this is very telling, right? The Russos then teased the films. We love villains who think they're the hero of their own stories. That's when they become three-dimensional and become more interesting. And when you have an actor like Robert Downey Jr., you have to create a well-shaped three-dimensional character for the audience. That's where a lot of our focus is going. So when a lot of people say Avengers Doomsday is somewhat going to be an origin story, it is somewhat. And it's the Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom story, Doctor Doom show. Because Doctor Doom has a freaking massive ego, right? So we love villains who think they're the hero of their own story. Thanos thought he was the hero. In fact, Thanos was kind of right to a certain degree. So, Alex Perez on the Cosmic Circus. Now, we've already reported this story a few weeks ago, actually. It was, actually, this article came out on March the 5th. But what he said, and like I say, he is the most trusted inside source because he doesn't sell stuff. He hasn't got a Patreon. He's not selling stuff. He's not hiding behind a paywall, right? So, early March, he was asked this question. Any ideas on Doom's plan's motivation? Are in Avengers Doomsday. Doom wants to stop the incursions from happening and stop the multiverse from entirely collapsing on itself. In a way, he's technically a hero in his own eyes and the eyes of his followers. Kind of like how Thanos saw himself as the hero in Avengers Infinity War. I think people have a better time processing this movie if they stop thinking of Doom as the ultimate villain, meant to swap out Kang at the last minute, and more of an antagonistic who thinks he is the hero and is pissed that he remains for essentially silencing his universe, as well as every other universe straight timeline that didn't compromise the sacred timeline, and wants nothing more than to take the reins of the timeline and win his free will. Interesting wording, right? In his own eyes. So generally speaking, right, if you're not a comic book fan, you ain't gonna have any clue who actually Doctor Doom is. Now let's be honest, right? No one knew who Thanos was unless you're a comic book guy, right? So this is why this storyline could actually work, even though they're pivoting out of the Kang storyline. Now, as I've said, Alex Perez, he's not a clout chaser like these other wannabe scoopers. He's not selling you nothing. He just puts these articles on the Cosmic Circus website and responds to tweets. But he never actually says, yo, this is happening. He's like, yo, this is what I've heard. And like I said, Loki Season 2, bang on the money. Deadpool and Wolverine, bang on the money. More credible than them all. Probably more credible than them all put together. So, also, it's worth saying, in this article, he did go ahead and say Loki's role in Doomsday and Secret Wars, he's going to be the MacGuffin they race against Doomsday. It will be the race to get to Loki first. Whether I think that's going to be a MacGuffin, but we know Loki is holding the sacred timeline together. He's like God Loki, Atlantis Loki, holding everything out. He's just omnipotent and powerful, and we do expect Doom to fight Loki at some point, or somewhat. But I don't think they're going to kill Loki off again because they've already done that, and Marvel won't do that. So the Russos, we like stories when the villain thinks they're the hero. Is that basically telling us the whole plot? Not exactly, but it's telling us half of the plot, because we know it's not going to be a one-dimensional character. It's a three-dimensional story, and it's probably going to be a complete different backstory for Doctor Doom, because the Russos literally said that Robert Downey Jr. is writing his own backstory for said character being Doctor Doom. Now, you combine that with the fact that they recently came out and essentially said, yo, it's something to do with Iron Man's death. There is some kind of connection. Was the Iron Man that died, was he the real Iron Man? Or is this Doctor Doom the actual Iron Man? Who knows? Find out in 1 year's time. I mean, they don't even start shooting this movie until like the second to last week of April. So the Russos said, when these interviews started dropping 2 weeks ago, they said, yeah, we're 6 weeks away. So it'll be somewhat in the middle of April. So they've told us a lot without actually telling us a lot, which is fascinating. So it's a very key piece here. We love villains who think they're the hero of their own story. And that article from Alex Perez also said, and his followers, so he's not going to be alone in his eyes and the eyes of his followers. So there's always been a rumor that it's going to be essentially a team working for, but Doctor Doom's actually an egotistical prick. So, well, it depends, right? Because we don't know which version that we're using, right? But RDJ's Doctor Doom Iron Man was arrogant. So this version will be arrogant. We know that, right? So he's probably going to use and manipulate everyone around him. And he's got the same face. The fact he's got the same face means he can actually manipulate everyone in the 616. And then we get this story come out from some wannabe scooper who isn't very reliable and says this, but literally anybody could come out with this. As soon as the Russo said, yo, there's a connection to Iron Man's death and Doctor Doom's story. You've seen the amount of TikTok videos, the amount of Instagram reels, etc. So it reads like this, and I'm just taking that this is a guess. In Avengers Doomsday, Victor Von Doom will reportedly take advantage of his resemblance to Tony Stark to present himself as an ally to the MCU. So what is he going to do? Manipulate everyone into thinking he's Iron Man. But I don't know if he would do that, right? Because most versions of Doctor Doom is an arrogant cheese. He's like an arrogant guy. He's not exactly going to be like, yo, I am Tony Stark. Hi, I am Tony Stark. So this is where everyone pulls in the theory, the idea that he's really going to do a number on Peter Parker, played by Tom Holland, because obviously they had the closest connection ever. So that is a case of how it would be really cool. We know they're going to have screen time together. Literally, they've been talking about it. Tom Holland's known about it for the longest time ever. But also, because he's Spider-Man, right, he might not be able to manipulate him because he has the spider tingles, the Peter Parker tingles, the spider sense, right? He's going to sense this is not Iron Man, right? Because everyone knows he's died, right? And most people know about variants and different versions of the same character. But still, he could be like, yo, I'm back, Peter. It's me, Tony. And sure, he looks exactly the same. So maybe he falls for it at first, but then the spider sense kicks in. But it's going to be very interesting now they've revealed this. But I also think it's bad that they've revealed it this early on, because now it's almost like we can, have these fake leaks go around, have these fake, Twitter scoopers who hide stuff behind paywalls, making out they know everything. Then if they're wrong, they'll be like, oh yeah, they must have changed it. Yeah, deleted scene, this kind of stuff. But I know what you guys are like, oh yeah, but you covered it. It's got to be true. No, I just cover things on this channel that I think is interesting, mainly. I cover topics that I hope and think you guys will actually, will think it's cool. So it is pretty interesting. But like always, guys, let us know what you think down below. The Russo's saying, we love villains. Does this correspond to what Alex Perez said about he's going to, use the case and he's going to think of himself as the hero, and the people watching it should think about themselves as the hero? That's fascinating. So Jonathan Majors has come out and basically said, yo, Marvel, I want to work for you again. Let me come back. Yo, Kevin, he's openly said it. Yo, I want to work for you again, right? I want to come back as Kang, right? But the only problem here is recently there's some new evidence come out, which is not really going to change the court case with Jonathan Majors, because that's basically done with now. But what happened was the audio's come out and he's basically confirmed some things that, I'm going to say allegedly because it's YouTube, so I've got to. But some things came out, right? And we are under the interpretation that Kang's storyline will still be finished because we don't have to see Kang's face. We know in the original Michael Waldron storyline that we were going to get the Beyond version of Kang appearing in the last movie, being Avengers Secret Wars. So it's interesting. They did have some kind of plan to finish the Kang storyline, from what we understand. Some people are making out, yeah, I've heard they've got some kind of plan to wrap up the Kang storyline. Interesting. So we don't know. But we're going to keep on top of all this stuff. Like always, we cover Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, DC stuff. I like covering the Superman stuff. Trying to cover more on the channel, so if you want me to cover some other things, let me know. Also, who do you think should be on Doctor Doom's evil villain team if you want? We know people are going to be like, yeah, Thanos, King Thanos, Ultron, Kang, Hydra, Captain America, played by Steve Rogers, obviously Chris Evans. So that will be interesting. So like always, guys, I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.